So in this video, we are going to go over how to check in. So 99% of my clients, this may be including you, likely including you in my program, have received a personalized workout plan, a meal plan, and then there are check-ins. So at the time of recording this video, and for a bulk of the time that I've been doing online coaching, I offer both bi-weekly check-ins as well as weekly check-ins. Again, at the time of filming this video, check-ins are on Sunday. I would highly please recommend that you get your check-in in on Sunday, because oftentimes if someone submits it on Monday or God forbid Tuesday, it means that I have to often sit down twice in order to write down all of my responses for my clients, look at the programs and decide if we need to make any changes and send over the check-ins and have that conversation with you. If Sunday is not a great day for you, I do highly recommend or encourage you to get your check-in in early on Saturday. That is totally fine, even though it's one day previous into the previous week. That's absolutely fine. So Sunday is the day that check-ins are to be sent in. Saturday, if Sunday is not a good day, but at the very latest, please Monday as early as you can. So when you're doing a check-in, it's just like 7 or 8 really short questions. This should take you about 5 minutes to fill out. Like later on, I'll explain why. But I would recommend that you wake up and do it first thing in the morning on Sunday. The reason why I'll just skip ahead to it is because I do ask you for your weight as well as updated photos. So when you take your weight throughout the day, you'll notice that your weight will fluctuate throughout the day based on what you eat and go into the bathroom and just your body's natural functions, as well as you will look different. You look a little bit different after you eat a really big meal, right? Like you have that sort of belly. So we want to make sure that if I am comparing your photos from week to week, that your check-ins look as similar as we can. That baseline, we want to increase the amount of fluctuation as much as we can. So without further ado, we're just going to go through a typical check-in and how I want you to answer them. So just write down your email, your first and last name so I know who you are, who's your coach, me, what is your Instagram handle, so I will be sending you your check-ins on Instagram. But if we are chatting on Facebook, just write Facebook and I will go look up your name on my Facebook. Write down today's date so I know when you're submitting this check-in in, and how many days last week did you track your calories and macros and fall within 100 calories or 10% of your assigned meal plan. So if I've given you 1,946 calories and I've given you 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat, I want to know how many days last week did you fall within about 100 calories of that 1,946 calories and within the 40% carbs, 30% fat, and 30% protein. This might be a little bit confusing, but I would prefer you just do the best that you can rather than being like, this sounds confusing, I'm just not going to check in at all. If you have any questions about this process, please ask. There are a number of different ways that I could find out how you're doing with respect to your meal plan, but ultimately it does matter how many calories that you eat, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight or maintain your weight. And protein, fat, and carbs are very important, and they each have their role. So this is a very simple way that I can find out, are you eating close to your calories and are you eating close to the assigned amount of protein, fat, and carbs. So if I've given you 40% carbs, 30 protein, and 30 fat, if you're at like 38 carbs, 31 protein and 22% fat, that probably doesn't add up, but I would consider that okay because you were within 10% of each of those numbers. And if you were within 100 calories, so if it's 1946, if you were at 1920, it's 20 calories off, that's amazing. If you were at 1600 or if you blew over and you're at 2800, then no, I would not include that. And so just do the best you can with this number. If you have any questions, please let me know. How many workouts did you do last week? So for 99% of my clients, I'm prescribing a certain number of strength workouts in your program. In a previous video, I talked about how I recommend a minimum of 4, but if we had a conversation earlier about how you're not doing 4, you're going to be doing less workouts per week, then that's fine. Then I will address you in that way in our check-in, but I would recommend getting at least 4, if not 5 workouts per week, with 6 or 7 maybe being a little bit too many. Just want to make sure that you're getting enough rest. But 0 or 1 or 2, I will likely come back in your check-in and say, great job getting in a workout or 2 workouts, but I would recommend trying to up it to 3, 4, or 5 workouts per week. How many steps did you average on daily last week? In a previous video, I talked about the health app on your iPhone, or a different variation of that for the Android is going to help you track how many steps that you're doing per week. Steps is just a great way to increase the amount of activity and movement you're getting in a day, active, and support you in getting in better workouts. It helps with your digestion, burning some extra calories. Most of clients are trying to burn fat and lose weight. Some of you trying to gain weight. It still is important to get your steps in. So I will encourage you to try and hit anywhere between 8,000 to 10,000 and 10,000 to 12,000. If you do come back and say I've hit 0 to 2,000, 2,000 to 4, or even 4,000 to 6,000, better than nothing, but I will probably ask you to try and increase your steps to one of these numbers here. The next question is, tell me something that you're proud of that you did last week. So that could be, I lost my first 2 to 5 pounds in this program, or I was stronger on my bench press, or one of my coworkers complimented me and said that I look more confident and I look stronger. That's amazing. I want to hear about that because that's important for us to celebrate together. The more detail that you can give me, the better, because then I have a better idea of what's going on. So what is something that you want to improve on this week? If you can share with me something that you struggled with, this is always where I'm going to look to see what I can help you with. So maybe that's, I struggled with getting to the gym, or I struggled with preparing my meals. I struggled with not knowing how to do one of the exercises. Please let me know and I will help you out. What was your previous weight last week, separated by a comma, followed by your current weight this week. So what was your weight last week? 161, and you weighed yourself this week and you're 59.1. So I need to know that, just your weight in pounds separated by a comma with what your weight was this week. Now I want an updated progress photo from the front, from the side, and from the back in just a loose pair of shorts or underwear. In your bathroom is ideal, with the same lighting every week. Try and make the photo look the exact same, because I will be comparing week to week to see if we are making the changes that we're looking for in our body. What was your goal last week and did you hit it? So if you're filling out this check-in for the first time, you won't have set a goal. You could just say your goal was to start the program. Did you hit it? Yes, I did the best that I could. I did myself, and I tracked my calories and macros. And then after you fill out this check-in for the first time, I want you to try and think of a goal. If you think back to the previous video where I talked about your daily habits, so perhaps it's trying to get more steps in, or get better sleep, or drink more water, or maybe your goal is to do more workouts, or to get better at tracking your meals. Please be very specific with what your goal is, and please remember what your goal was, because a lot of clients don't remember what their goal was last week, and this is a useless question if you're going to constantly say, like, I forget what goal I set, I forget what goal I set, I forget what goal I set. So I want you to remember what was your goal and did you hit it, to hold yourself accountable, and I will hold you accountable as well and support you where needed. The next thing is there anything coming up next week that we should play around? So this is a really important one, because without this question, a lot of my clients could come back in the next check and say, hey, I fell off track last week. I didn't do my workouts because I went away with my partner for the weekend, and I didn't think to let you know, and so I didn't go to the gym, and I just ate whatever I wanted. But if you let me know, like, hey, I'm going away next weekend, and I think that I can sneak in a workout in the hotel room, just doing some body weight exercises, then that gives me an opportunity to say, hey, like, that's awesome. I can send you some body weight workouts to do. Or if you have a really busy work and you're like, I'm kind of nervous about prepping my food, how do you do that during a busy work week? I can help you make it easier and how to do it quicker, or I can suggest getting your meals delivered. So this is just anticipating where you might fall off track so that we can stay on track and continue staying in momentum and getting the best results possible, as well as avoiding falling off track and then even further, like, beating yourself up and falling off track even worse. The second last question is, what is your goal this week? And so this is a follow-up of what was your goal last week. So I will always ask you to think of a goal, again, usually something like steps, or drinking more water, getting more workouts in, getting your meals, or maybe it's learning about something, like, I want to learn more about certain advanced techniques at the gym. I always recommend learning more about how to do your workouts outside of this program so that you can just get better. And the last thing is, there anything that I can do to support you as a coach this week? A lot of people just say, like, all good, no questions, which is great. That tells me that, you're not struggling with anything, and that's what I like to hear. But if you are struggling with anything that you didn't feel like there was a question here that the question sort of fit into, this is an open-ended question, the last question, an opportunity for you to share anything that's on your mind, anything that I can support you with, anything that you're struggling with. I would expect that you do share with me anything that you're struggling with so that I can help you out. I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. So I would, again, encourage you to give me as much detail in this check-in form as you can. But at the same time, I want this to be a sustainable process. If this is something that you're filling out this check-in form every week or every other week, this should take about 5 or 10 minutes. Just, wake up on Sunday, go to the bathroom before you eat or drink anything, fill out this check-in form really quickly, get your updated weight, take your photos, fill out these questions, and so that I can best support you. You'll always get a response from me if you fill out this check-in on Sunday. If you get it to me later in the week, it just decreases the chance that I will get it to you earlier or even at all if you send in the check-in on Tuesday, Wednesday, or God forbid Thursday or Friday. That only leaves Thursday, Friday, or Saturday for me to fill out that response for you and send it over, which isn't really fair to me. So that is all. If you have any questions about the check-in process, please let me know. And that is your last video before going in and watching any of these other videos at your discretion. But these were just the videos that I had in mind to film so that you can get ready for your program, so that when you receive your workout plan and meal plan, that you know how to get the best results in the program and what's expected of you. I would recommend that now that you get started on your workouts and meal plans when you get the program and when you have some time to go ahead and watch these videos so that you can learn more about your workouts and nutrition, your lifestyle, consistency, motivation, things like that. So of course you can get the best. I will see you in the next video.